All right, board fam, the downfall of FNT, of Friday Night Tights, continues. We love to see it, at least I love to see it, with all the drama that these individuals have caused. If the garbage is rolling downhill and it's coming back to them, I'm all for it. Let's have a party. Quick recap on what's going on. I made a couple videos on this if you want to go back and check them out. If not, essentially, Chrissy Mayor, a couple weeks ago, did a stream with Melanie Mack, lied about not knowing any of the drama going on with Melanie Mack, which, by the way, Melanie Mack is problematic in general, period. Like, if you've ever watched any Melanie Mack stuff, you know that she's problematic on her own. But being, connected to Jeremy the Quartering with all of this false flagging stuff or whatever, like, she's already problematic, and it's being piled on top of that. Chrissy Mayor lied about not knowing about it. She did know about it. To what extent, still questionable, but she did know there was drama. She got loaded up on super chats. I think it was thousands of dollars in super chats of people trying to talk to Melanie Mack. She was sweeping for Melanie while Melanie was sweeping for the Quartering. It wasn't good. That drama happened a couple weeks ago. She was taken off Friday Night Tights on that week because it was too much drama. Can't have her on there. We can't have Chrissy on Friday Night Tights when there's drama happening, which is pretty hypocritical. I'll tell you why in a second. Then on Monday, Nerdrotic Nooner happened. Gary Nerdrotic had to address the drama. He doesn't like to do it. He's very uncomfortable addressing it. Again, I'm good with watching them try to squirm with all this. And in that video, we're going to look at a clip here in a second. He said on Monday, we won't be talking about this again. We will not discuss it again. And I said, as we're going to watch in the clip here in a moment, you don't get to make that decision, Gary. This is bigger than you. It's bigger than Friday Night Tights in terms of the level of drama that is going on right now. You don't get to make a decision on whether you're going to talk about it or not. It's out of your control. And this clip we're going to look at today is the Friday Night Tights panel talking about the drama that Gary said they wouldn't be talking about on Friday Night Tights because they couldn't get away from it. I tuned in a couple times during the stream. The chat was talking about it nonstop. They got super chats. There was a $50 super chat at one point when I was watching where someone who is a huge supporter of these guys said that he cannot believe that they're pulling SJW shit on Chrissy Mayor, silencing her for being controversial instead of letting her come on the show and hold her position, support her. Keep in mind, they got Ryan Kennel on the show when he does controversial stuff. Shad, with all of his AI shit, super controversial. He's on the show. They let Az on the show all the time. They literally had Gavin McGinnis and Alex Jones on the show who have nothing to do with geek culture at all. Highly controversial figures. Alex Jones literally just lost everything because of how controversial he is. But they can be on there. But Chrissy Mayor cannot. But I knew that was going to be the case because of how all of this was playing out. She wasn't on the panel again. And I suspect, based on what she said on another stream, that she's still going to be in timeout next week as well. I don't think this is going away. She's been talking more and more about it. I don't see how this is going to go away. But this is what Gary said. Before we do this, let's look at this clip from Gary from one of my videos last week, where Gary says, we're never talking about this again. And then we're going to watch the clip where they talked about it again.
Whatever the situation was, I think, whatever you're going to say, it should be said on your channel and not on FNT, because that's not what FNT is for. I don't like taking this now 21 minutes to fucking talk about it at all. And won't continue talking about this shit.
You say that like you have control over it. I think that's funny that you think you have control over this. This is an out of control situation. And there we go. He literally was like, I'm not going to talk about this anymore. It's not going to be on FNT. Well, here we are on FNT in the same week talking about it. Again, you can hand me my W's. All the people in the chat who have to cope and seethe about me being right. I'm right again. Now, let's hear what they have to say about this. I'm quite interested in this drama, and people might ask me, hey, why are you so interested in this? It isn't really, totally debunking anything. There is some debunking to this. I just debunked Gary when he was saying that he wasn't going to talk about it again, and he is going to talk about it. There's going to be some debunking here. But ultimately, the reason why I'm watching this is because this is FNT dealing with drama that is fracturing their viewership as well as their panel. And this, I think, is important to the space that we're in right now. I think this is important. Let's see what they had to say on Friday Night Tights.
Couple of drama super chats. Eli, you could just ignore this stuff. It's
perfect.
There you go. Michael Gonzalez for $50. Thank you, Michael. Chrissy destroyed her brand because she wanted to take the side of the quartering. It's gone way past the point when you can blame Melanie or the quartering for Chrissy's actions. Chrissy in the last week has shown that she's nothing more than a liar, and you're allowed to speak your opinion on that.
No, it's not an opinion. That's not an opinion. Like, Chrissy did lie. I mean, pretty much everybody that associates with you guys has lied at one point or another, but we know that Chrissy did lie. She's actually talked about it prior to this stream here, where she's admitted that some of the things, she apologized for some of the things she said and did because she wasn't being honest. She wasn't being truthful. Gary, you don't even believe her. You don't even believe her. But you don't want this drama causing too much trouble for FNT. So here you're like, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to feel this way. Keep in mind, these are people that watch your show. They're looking to you to guide the ship. They want to see which way you're steering the ship here. And you really don't know what to do, which is why you don't have her on the show right now. Where this is something I think, look, this is what I think. I think that the viewers of FNT want to see her on the show so that you can all talk about it together. Not only are there people that love it for the drama aspect, but I truly believe there are probably some fans of your show that want to see you work this out on camera. The behind the scenes stuff leaves too much room to interpretation. It feels like something sneaky and sus is going on in the background when you guys do this kind of stuff. So that's why it's not going away. Keep in mind, the minute Chrissy comes back to FNT, the minute she's back on the panel, it doesn't matter if it's a week from now or a month from now, the minute she comes back on the show, there's going to be drama about this that is brought back up. Mark my words, I'm not wrong about this stuff. You can check my receipts, check my track record on this. I'm not wrong. Let's continue.
Absolutely here. But we're not going to get into it in this show at all.
Yeah, I mean, like we spent 20 minutes talking about a lot of the stuff that happened last week. Certainly more stuff has happened this week, and we know, we see it, we understand. She's not here right now. So
yeah,
there it is.
Right. Because you decided that instead of allowing her to come on and maybe clear her name or tackle this head on, you're just going to talk about her after you asked her not to be on the show. Which, by the way, is protecting your show in the way that you would go after people on the left for protecting things. Remember how you guys didn't like the fact that Gina Carano, who was speaking her mind, got to be too problematic for Disney and Star Wars, and they decided not to renew her contract. And you guys said, cowards, you called them all kinds of names for doing that because they wanted to minimize the damage to their brand by keeping Gina out of their properties, keeping Gina out of their shows. And here you are doing the same thing to Chrissy Mayor. You have decided that having Chrissy Mayor on your show will be damaging to your brand, and therefore you can't have her here anymore. You don't want the association. You don't want any real conversation about this. You want it to just go away. You want to sweep it under the rug. You are participating in the same behavior that you attacked Disney for. There's no difference here. Essentially, Gina and Chrissy both did something controversial. Disney decided to not continue with Gina. You have decided to not continue with Chrissy, at least temporarily, and you are talking about her when she's not present, which is something I knew was going to happen. Let's be clear here. I believe they knew it was going to happen too. So you can make money off of the super chats about Chrissy, but she can't be on the show to defend herself. That's real interesting.
That's the part. She's not here right now. We did talk, and as far as that, made a statement, made one last Monday, talked about it on Friday, and we'll see what happens.
And you're still talking about it this week. This is from just this past weekend. You're still talking about it. This every time Chrissy goes live, every time, because Brittany Venti is still talking about this. This is not going away. And like I said, whether she comes back this week or a month from now, the drama is going to return when she shows up on the show. It's just too easy. I don't think there's any path to Chrissy Mayor returning to FNT. I don't think it's possible.
Happens.
If I can make a statement about this situation, is I have no idea what's going on.
Who is this idiot?
There you go.
Well, here's the thing.
That's it.
Here's the thing, Eli. Here's the thing, Eli. When you say that, I believe you. I believe that you're being genuine and authentic when you say that.
I think it's really interesting that Chrissy, who is supposedly friends with, I guess, at least a handful of people on this panel, that she's embroiled in controversy, whether she started it herself or not. I don't know if everybody on this panel thinks that she started it or if she was actually ignorant to everything that happened. They're laughing while she is being dragged through the mud by people that watch her show and people that are in the chat for FNT. They're laughing about it. It's all a joke. There's no support. There's no backing up of Chrissy Mayor. Now, I understand why they're doing it. I get it. It's bad optics for FNT. And Gary and none of the people that are here regularly want to be dealing with any of that stuff. It's bad optics. But isn't that really what these guys are about? You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to be canceled or exiled or kicked out for saying something, this is where you go. You go to these guys. These are the guys that don't believe in canceling people. They don't believe in silencing people. They don't believe in censorship. That's what they're about. And here they are doing it to one of their own. And like I said, Alex Jones has been on this show. Gavin McInnes has been on this show. They've had lots of controversial people on the show in the past. That's never stopped them before. But this one for some reason is too hot to handle.
I just Googled both those names. I was like, maybe though some short explanation. I don't know.
There's no short explanation.
There's a 3-hour documentary out there, though.
Yeah,
it sure is.
Here it is. Quartering false flagged somebody, got their channels removed, admitted to doing it after a while. It is now being pretty much persecuted by the internet for doing it because you don't false flag people. Melanie Mack is his co-host. She happens to be friends with Chrissy Mayor. Chrissy Mayor had her on the show after she has been sweeping for the quartering and then lied about why not knowing anything about it. That's it. That's the whole thing. They don't want to bring it up. They don't even want to mention it. They're afraid to talk about it on FNT. They're afraid to bring it up.
On a completely unrelated note, I suddenly have a hankering to eat an orange.
Oh my
Where are you
God.
getting all these oranges?
Saber Leo. This is 3 parts for the so-called good Jer who isn't here right now. The way you've treated Chris.
That's really interesting also that Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy, is not on the panel because he's been going really hard on Chrissy Mayor. Like, he doesn't like what she's done with all this lying and everything. And surprisingly, he's also not on the panel. Now, I don't know if he chose to sit this one out. There's been no discussion about, him being asked not to show up. But I'm assuming that would be a much bigger problem for them if they were caught telling Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers not to be there on Friday Night Tights. But anyway, let's continue.
Oh my
Where are you
God.
getting all these oranges?
Saber Leo. This is 3 parts for the so-called good Jer who isn't here right now. The way you've treated Chrissy publicly has been shameful. Real friends or colleagues call someone out privately first. Did you not even reach out to her? Did anyone besides Gary? You've always said never apologize to the mob. It'll never be enough. Yet here you are feeding one against Chrissy, even after her flawed apology and explanation. Apparently, it wasn't enough for you. How ironic.
I agree with that. I have heard on more than one occasion Gary tell celebrities Never apologize. Never apologize to people on the internet because it's never going to do anything. It's never going to be enough. This is true. So what is Chrissy supposed to do at this point? Clearly, she did some shady shit with the super chats and Melanie Mac and all of this drama. And she's been caught in other stuff now after this. So, like, there's other things that have happened. Does she have to apologize? Is that what they're waiting for? Do they think that her apologizing is going to make things better with their audience? Is that what people want? Is that truly what they think is going to happen? Let's hear what Gary has to say.
I've followed you and G&G for 4 to 5 years and respected your growth, but your recent behavior towards Chrissy is baffling. She screwed up 100%, and you can tell me to f off or whatever, but respectfully, Jeremy, do better. So Jeremy's not here to answer that.
Oh, convenient. Convenient. There was a part of that about you too, Gary. The first portion of that was about you. Are you not going to talk about the stuff that he addressed to you? And you're just going to say, oh, well, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers isn't here, so we're just going to ignore the part about me. Are you going to address that? Let's see.
You know, and I won't answer it for him. But
I mean, I'm not going to answer it for him either, but because that is directed towards him. He's certainly been talking about it a lot. I think basically everybody else on this panel has said their piece about the important parts, like the most important parts of the whole situation, which are channels getting deleted, people having free speech taken away and stuff like that. And
I mean, isn't that what you're doing with your own panelist? Like, could you imagine if there was somebody, a person on a Disney podcast who was conservative and expressed conservative viewpoints, and all of a sudden the 9 other people on that podcast said, we don't want that person on here because they're too controversial and it will distract from our podcast. How would that play with these guys? How would it play if that were the situation? If somebody in a podcast full of people that supposedly supported this person decided that all of a sudden something they were doing didn't align with their values and they just told them not to come back on. Would that be silencing that person's free speech to these guys? I mean, I can't say I know for sure, but I can say based on their, pattern of behavior, yeah, that's what they would do.
That's not what this show is for, isn't to get to like that at other co-hosts or anything like that. But the whole situation is people are reacting different. People are handling it different. I'm not Jeremy, so I'm not making videos and thumbnails and stuff like that talking about it. He has been. So
is there a bus that you're throwing people under like constantly? First it was Chrissy Mayor. Now it's Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. Again, I'm good with it. If you want to like continuously like throw each other to the wolves, I am totally okay with whatever your tribe decides to do. But think about this for a second. Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers isn't on the panel right now. Chrissy isn't on the panel right now. Is it possible, again, I don't have any proof of this, is it possible that they decided that they didn't want either one of them on the panel? Was Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers asked not to show up on FNT? Because if he was here, super chats would be coming for him because he's been talking about this nonstop. So did they ask him to sit out? It sure sounds to me like there was some conversation about this because of what Ryan just said. That's interesting.
We'll try to relay that message to him.
Yeah, he might have heard it. So maybe he addresses it. So yeah, the reason Chrissy isn't here is again to really, we're not a drama channel, and it's to keep the show focused.
You're not a drama channel. Oh, you mean you're not a drama channel about the members of your podcast? You're quite literally about drama when it comes to superhero stuff, Lord of the Rings, fucking women, MCU stuff. Like that drama is okay because it's when you can talk about other people's stuff. But when it has something to do with people on your panel, all of a sudden you're not a drama channel. then you don't want to deal with it. That's really convenient. Again, you had Gavin McGinnis and Alex Jones on your show, two people who have nothing to do with the fandom community. Why were they on the show? If you're not a cultural drama show, why were they on the show? That doesn't make any sense.
As far as like what actions led to that, whether it's her fault or not, it's been kind of a thing with me. I don't deal with dramas, particularly if I caused it, okay, then I'll deal it, but I probably wouldn't make my co-hosts on Friday Night Tights deal with it.
It's interesting to me that this has made him so uncomfortable. This is the first time that I think I've seen Gary this uncomfortable about something, because it quite literally is at the front door of his house. Like the mob, they're outside of the house, and in the house is a bunch of these guys, and they've kicked Chrissy out of the house. They're like, you're out of the house. We're in here, and you thought that we had your back. This is a non-cancel culture, non-judgmental space on the internet. This is where people can come, even when they're controversial, they can come here. But you decided to kick her out. You threw her out the back door and then shut the door behind her. And you're like, okay, she can deal with this shit on her own. We're not going to deal with it. That's everything I know about FNT is they have people on here that are canceled for being controversial. That's quite literally part of their brand. It's one of the fundamental parts of their brand. For some reason, Chrissy is too controversial for the show. And that's probably because they know Chrissy has lied. That's what it is. They don't want to defend someone that has been proven to be a liar. Because they can't. There's no defense. Which means they'd have to take accountability for this person while they're on the panel. And they don't want that in their brand. They don't want to have to deal with that while they're streaming, talking about black people in the Odyssey and the next woman in Marvel. Nothing says accountability like keeping the people off of your show like Jeremy and Chrissy. Nothing says accountability for behavior like keeping the people off your show that you should be addressing because they are part of your podcast. But sure, keep attacking Marvel and Disney and Star Wars for doing these same things with their employees.
If I cause drama, I would want to deal with it on my channel, whether it was my fault or not. The fact of the matter is it's here, and we don't want it to derail the show, which is taking the piss out of Hollywood. That's what we.
By the way, if you did something dramatic, Gary, would you take a break from your own show? Because it wouldn't stay like quite literally. You're the host of FNT. How would that work? If Gary got caught doing something similar to what Chrissy did in any capacity, how would you keep that drama off of FNT? Would you just stop coming on the show? You let somebody else host it indefinitely? That doesn't make any sense. You are the host. Obviously, Chrissy is a guest on your panel, meaning that she couldn't come on the show if she wanted to, if you tell her no. Whereas you could come on your show regardless of what's going on because it's your show. That stance makes no sense.
We do. And I am not comfortable nor happy with dragging other creators, whether I like them or not, on my show. It's just, once in a while, I'll make a comment, particularly to people who have tried to flag down this channel in the past.
Well, there's a video clip of you last week dragging me by telling people that I associate with Otterly Noah, a known plagiarist and false flagger. So that's a lie. You do drag other creators on your show. It just happened to me last week.
People like Vito. I'll certainly make a comment about that. Vito has since apologized, by the way, and that's why I kind of let it go. But normally, I don't worry about that stuff. If the channel's still going for me, and I'm not comfortable talking about drama. I'm not really comfortable dragging people at all. Clearly, I'm not dragging people. It's not what I do. It's not what I do, and that's not what this show is for, right?
But overall, I guess I'm sorry you feel that way.
Well, that comment
Kind of funny throwing your friend under the bus again for a laugh while she's not there.
is one extreme where there is another extreme, and there's, of course, you know, it's not like anyone's trying to please anyone, but you won't be able to even if anyone tried, because people have so different and vast, you know, expectations and desires, and so.
All right, that's where we're going to stop it. I'll give my final thoughts on this. So, one, the drama's not going away just because you don't have Chrissy on the show. You might see diminishing super chats about it as time goes on, but the minute she comes back, the drama's going to come back. I don't see any path to Chrissy coming back to the show. Not in the present. I don't see that happening. If Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers continues to make videos about Chrissy, I don't see a path for him to come back on the show without the drama happening. So y'all are in a bad spot. Now, when I made the video last week and I said FNT as we know it is over, people in the comments like, well, what are you talking about? This is what I'm talking about. You have people who are fans of the show, who were there on Friday night, who were super chatting about their issues with how this is being handled, which is what I talked about in my video when people told me I didn't know what I was talking about. FNT as we know it will never be the same. Whether that means Chrissy never comes back, whether that means Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers can't be on the show regularly, whether that means that people in the chat are not trusting them. Look, it's the fracturing. It might only be like 5% of their viewers, but the point is that there is a percentage of people that watch FNT who are not happy about them behaving like the people that they have attacked over the years, which is Disney, Marvel, Lord of the Rings, Doctor Who, Game of Thrones, you name it. They've talked about all this stuff and called them all kinds of names because they don't support the people that work for them when they're exerting their free speech. And here they are participating in actually silencing that person's free speech by deplatforming them from their own podcast. It doesn't get any more hypocritical than that.